Well, it's not looking good, folks. We're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Well, we're back at it. It is a chilly day. It was nice and sunshiny earlier, but the clouds have come in. It's about 40 degrees. Brought some stuff out, take care of a few projects, and we'll see how we get along. Gonna give you a quick inventory of what I brought out. This isn't everything, but I brought the drill and some drill bits out because I'm going to turn this coffee can into a rocket stove, hopefully. Brought out a couple eggs to fry up, a rag to clean up with, brought out a couple plates, brought out this wire mesh that I'm actually going to put on top of the rocket stove in order to hold things like my pan here, which I took home and seasoned up. It was in pretty good shape, but just needed a little TLC. We'll talk about the tarp later, and then I just had some assorted sticks kind of out by the road in a brush pile that I thought all looked pretty straight and pretty good. So we're gonna get going on project number one. All right, step one, I'm gonna take a nice 3/8, I think, drill bit, and I'm gonna put a bunch of holes around the bottom, put a couple holes around the top for airflow, and then some in the actual bottom, just for airflow. Ouch. Some sharp edges. Okay, I got 3 or 4 holes at the top. I got probably a half a dozen down here towards the bottom, and then I put a few down there. So let's cut up some mesh, kind of try and get it to fit and get a fire in it. Okay, we got her going. Look out. Okay, we got it going. I got a pile of sticks there. I'm just going to keep feeding it. I'm going to get a nice hot burn on it. I did some research. The metal cans should be fine, but a lot of times they'll put like a food grade sealant on the inside, and that can be toxic. So it's recommended to get a nice hot burn on it to burn all that stuff off, and then from there it should be perfectly safe. Similar to doing research on a lot of wood stoves. You want a good initial burn, kind of set the paint and just burn off any stuff you don't want in there and you don't want to be breathing in. So I'm going to keep feeding that, and we'll start prepping for project number 2. Oh, and the wire mesh was a no-go. I thought I brought the right tool out to cut it with, and I did not, and mostly just wound up cutting myself. So we're going to leave off the wire mesh for now, go from there. Stay away from the smoke as much as possible and make sure we don't start any grass fires. Well, it's not looking good, folks. We're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Putting my pan on there just completely snuffs it out. So I set it up on those blocks, maybe get some airflow from underneath, but I definitely think we're gonna have to figure out a way to get that pan up off the top, the very, very top of the stove. Hot, 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 hot. Nope, 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 nope. get this going back up a little bit, then let it die down, and we'll cook our eggs on the open flame. Just putting really, really small stuff on it. Okay, let's post-game that a little bit. That design for the rocket stove is not going to work. When I set the pan on it, it just completely killed the fire, suffocated it. So I'm going to have to find something that creates space between the top of the stove, the can, that I can set the skillet on that won't burn up. So I'm going to have to find, something metal. I'll scrounge around the place, we'll come up with something. But so I decided, well, instead of letting those good coals go to waste, I kind of fed it a little bit more, threw some fresh stuff in, got it burning good, then carried it over, dumped the coals on the fire, threw just some small stuff on it just to get it going, and then kind of spread the coals out. And now I'd say we're about 5 minutes away from some eggs. All right, well, that was a little bit more of a process than I anticipated just to cook up some eggs, but they're cooked up. I'm gonna enjoy these. I'm gonna stoke the fire back up so I can do the dishes. Be back with you in a few. Got the fire kicked back up. So we're gonna let that roll for a while. When it dies back down, work on cleaning up the dishes. Warm now. Okay, the sun has set. Again, I know on video it doesn't look like it, but it's definitely set. Whoa, shaky. Okay. I was going to stay a little bit longer and just enjoy the fire, but I looked down at one point and the dog was just shivering. So I got to get him home. I got him over in the truck, got the heat on for him. So I'm going to show you the shelter one last time. And then we're probably going to call it a day. Check it out. Okay, it's coming together a little bit more every time. No major changes this time. I did want to mention it held up well. The only thing that was different was the white bucket was knocked over and the small roll of tar paper was knocked over. I would assume raccoons. Feel pretty confident about that. But so things I'm going to try to leave out here. So the plates and a fork, I'm going to try to leave those out here. I didn't get a hold of a tote like I wanted to put that kind of stuff in. I did saw some more 2-foot boards. Sorry, 2-foot logs. We're going to need a whole bunch of those for even just one bed. So I spent a little time doing that. And then while I was waiting for the fire to die down, I broke up a bunch of kindling. Going to leave the blue tarp here. We're going to have to get it stretched out on a nice bright sunny day to make it pliable. But I feel pretty good about that. Got the rocket stove here. Rocket stove beta test was no good, so we're gonna have to make some improvements. And then of course the white bucket, the shovel, the pots and pans, the coffee cup, the hatchet, things like that, the wire hanging there. So it's a little bit more together than it was before I got here, so that feels nice. Each time I'm able to come out and leave some stuff, honestly feels really, really good and feels like it's really starting to come together. So that's going to do it for today. It was a nice peaceful day out here. Didn't get a lot accomplished, but that's okay. It was good for the soul. As always, I hope it was a blessing to you. We'll see you next time.